Hey guys, welcome back to the last video of our series. Today we're going to be taking a look at the final part of MASH, and we're going to be closing this after almost 10 hours of content, or a little bit more, a little bit above 10 hours. We're closing this first introduction to animation. Hopefully you guys learned a lot throughout this series. It's been really cool. It's been really fun showing you all of the techniques that we use for animation. So here we go. I'm going to show you now one of the extra nodes that we have, which is the music node or the audio node, which it's going to create some very cool things here. So I'm going to start again. Let's do something different. Let's do cubes. Cubes are always fun. So let's start with a cube. I'm going to go into mesh and I'm going to click this option right here. And now I really want to create like a little bit of a grid as well. So let's go mesh distribute. Let's do let's do radial. I think radial would be cool. Let's increase the number of points so we have a lot of cubes. Let's say 50 cubes. I think that looks good. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here into the mesh network and I'm going to add an audio file. So I'm going to add an audio node, and it's very important that we sample the audio that we need. Now, your audio files are always going to be found here on the sound folder, and we have a little bit of a problem here. I downloaded this one for you. Let me see if you can hear it. There we go. It's a little bit loud. Well, so very just like funny, happy sound, but this is an MP3 file, so we definitely need a WAV file. There are some web services that allow you to transform this into WAV, or let me see, sometimes when you download, sometimes when you download, it lets you download specifically on the WAV file. So I'm just gonna drag and drop this guy here. Let me really quickly convert this guy for you. Just 1 second here. I'm using one that's called cloudconvert.com. So just cool thing. Let's just download, and there we go. We got the WAV file. Let's get the WAV file right there. It's going to be there for you, so you don't have to do this. And now here in Maya, we just select this guy and hit open. And what's going to happen here, very cool, is we got this object here, and when we play it, the things, or the cubes in this case, are going to be scaled, as you can see here on Y, depending on the beat of the song. But unfortunately, we're not hearing the song. And why is that? Well, we only added the song to the audio file. We haven't added it into the Maya scene. So I'm going to go right click down here. I'm going to go into audio and I'm going to import the audio, which is this one right here. Just hit import, and there we go. So now, we have the volume here. Let me lower it. There we go. Very cool little song right here, right? So the cool thing about the audio node right here, as you can see, on our main audio file, is there's a lot of things that we can move. Right now it's scaling all the way to 30, scale of 30 on the y-axis. But if we want to, we could enable rotation and say, hey, you know what? Like, I want you to rotate this guys on the in this case I think c-axis would be the it's x-axis. So 180 or 90 degrees on the c-axis, right? So something like this. So we're gonna get this. Pretty cool, right? Now there's another node that's very, very cool, and that node is called the replicator right here. So the replicator is a node that will allow us to replicate the network. This is something that's very, very nice. And not only can we replicate the network, we can actually move it or change the direction of the whole thing. And it will copy exactly what's going on before the replicator happens. So as you can see, we get this little cool thing here. Now, if we want, we can, of course, animate the replication. We can animate the offsets. Okay, so there's a lot of cool things that we can do. Replicator is a really, really nice node that we can utilize for this sort of things. Now, what else can we do? Let me get rid of the replicator. We could try mixing. I don't think I've tried this before, but let's see what happens if we add a dynamics node. I would imagine that all of this thing is gonna just fall. That's pretty fun, right? So yeah, even the dynamics works with the mesh network, so that's pretty cool. Let's go for a color node. Let's add another color node here. So let's go, or maybe a random. What about a random? Yeah, the random looks good. So now each object is in a different position. Let's get rid of the dynamics node. Delete. There we go. Now we get this. So we create this very cool shape that's gonna be changing depending on the tone of the song. Let me get rid of a little bit of the volume. There we go. So we're gonna have this sort of effect where the objects are gonna be doing this thing, and the cool thing about this is we can add more things on top of this. So maybe we can add like this rotator. I think we have a rotation element. Where is it? Or even just like a transformation. The transformation, remember, the transformation is not the transformation of each individual piece, it's a transformation of the whole network. So one thing we could do is we can go to frame 1, say S, and then frame 120, and we want a rotation of the whole thing. In this case is the Z-axis, 360 degrees. So as you can see, we're gonna get this. Now remember the cycles that we have here on the graph editor? We can make this linear, of course, and we can say curves, post infinity, cycle. So now what's gonna happen is if we increase this to like 2000 frames, see the whole music, we get this. So imagine you're doing like this sort of animation where the logo is gonna appear right in the center and you want the whole beat to be working at the same time. Well, there you go. Very, very easy to do, very simple exercise. And again, we can add, of course, our color node. Let's just go over that real quick. Let's call this color set, that's fine. And I'm just gonna say random hue all the way. And oh yeah, I'm gonna show you this. This is very cool. So let me connect this real quick. So I'm just gonna grab this guy. I'm gonna assign a new material, Arnold, a standard surface. Let's on the color. Remember, we add this AI user data color. We go here. That's the name of the color set. And then on the repro mesh, we make sure that we have on the output attributes color per vertex, and down here export vertex color. There we go. So if I were to render this real quick, there's no light, of course, so that's why we're not seeing anything. Let's import not an air light. Let's do the sky dome light. Oh, sorry. Just had a drink right now. After a lot of recording. I've been recording straight for like several hours. So where's this is the sky dome light? There we go. Let's just do a normal file node. There we go. And we're gonna add this peppermint power plant. There we go. Perfect. Now we render, and there we go. Of course, we need to make sure that there's a color on the thing, because otherwise white doesn't work. Let's do pink. There we go. So we get this very happy, funny looking element. Now, here's the thing. There's something called expressions, and expressions are like a code that we can use to create a little bit more variance to the whole thing. So right now, if we were to play this, the cubes will always keep the same color, right? So for instance, this one, it's always the same color. It's gonna be a little bit difficult to follow, but right now the cubes are not changing colors. Let me see if I can play this. Yeah, you can see it there. It's just rotating, but it's the same color. It's not changing. But we can actually make this thing change color every time we want, like with a specific amount of time. So the way we're gonna do this is I'm gonna go in the option here on the seed option, because if we change the seed, the colors are gonna change, right? It's like the variation of the element. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna write the following. I'm gonna write equals frame divided by X amount of time. So let's say 30. Okay, so what's gonna happen here is gonna check, okay, what frame am I in right now? If I'm in frame 1 and I divide that by 30, it's point whatever, so it's gonna be frame, or it's gonna be it's gonna jump to the closest index, which is gonna be, I believe, 0 or 1, and it's just gonna select that seed. Once it hits frames 30 or 31, it's gonna jump to seed 2, and that way we're gonna get a very nice variance. So let me see if we can see it here. Let's play. Well, before that, let's hit enter here. There we go. So now you can see that if we're in frame or in seed, like here, you can see we're in seed 1, and as we keep moving forward, now we're in seed 10, and now we're in seed 28, and that means that once we hit the animation here, every specific time, all of the cubes are going to change color. So again, it's just a way to add variance, to add more visual interest to the whole piece, and we're going to be able to create some very, very cool effects with this. I've personally used this Mesh network for several like local companies that asked us to do certain like logos and animations. So again, I strongly advise you check all of these notes, go into the documentation if you want to learn a little bit more about each specific element. There's a lot of information out there, and with this plus all of the things we've learned about timing, about preparation, staging, exaggeration, all of the things that we've learned with traditional animation, you're gonna see that all of your projects are gonna be looking even better. So I think that's it, guys. That's it for this series. We've covered a lot of things. Hopefully you went from zero to hero in a matter of 10 hours. Of course, you need to put in the work, you need to do the exercises, make sure you finish them, and make sure you spend as much time as you need doing all of the different steps that we went through, because as with everything in regards to 3D, the more time or the more you invest into something, the better you're gonna get. So if you want to get all the way to the top and be one of the top animators at Pixar, DreamWorks, Blizzard, or whatever, make sure you push your skills as much as you can, because perfection is what they're looking for. So just keep working to become a great animator. I'm gonna continue working to provide you guys with the best possible content. It's been a pleasure for me teaching you all of these concepts. Hopefully you've liked all of the videos and all of the exercises. Let us know on the reviews for our on the courses on the YouTube page. Make sure to check out all of the tutorials that we're uploading weekly. And yeah, that's it, guys. I'll see you back on the next tutorial. Bye bye.